Prime Minister Netanyahu said that Israel and Hamas are set to begin the second phase of their ceasefire once the last hostage's remains are returned. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said he had a substantive call with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Amid growing criticism, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth defended the strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Israel and Hamas are set to begin the second phase of their ceasefire shortly, once the last hostage's remains are returned. Netanyahu made the comment during German Chancellor Friedrich Merz's first visit to Israel as head of state. In a press conference, the two expressed clear differences when speaking on the topic of Gaza and a two-state solution, yet both were also keen to emphasize a commitment to maintaining a close bilateral relationship. Merz stood up for Israel's existence and security, but simultaneously said it must be held accountable under international law.
Im Verlaufe dieses langen Krieges hat uns aber das Vorgehen der israelischen Regierung auch in ein gewisses Dilemma geführt. Deutschland muss für Israels Sicherheit einstehen. Und Deutschland muss für Menschenwürde und Recht einstehen, die den Kern unserer Verfassung.
Merz said the second phase of the peace process must begin soon and said a Palestinian state as part of a two-state solution is the way forward towards lasting peace. Netanyahu contradicted the chancellor on the point of the two-state solution, a possibility he has repeatedly rejected in the past. Prior to the meeting, Merz visited the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem, where he laid a wreath in memory of those killed during the Holocaust. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said he had a substantive call with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The call followed after talks between U.S. officials and a Ukrainian delegation that aimed to bring an end to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Zelenskyy added that Ukraine would continue to keep working in good faith with the U.S. and that the next steps and formats for the talks have been agreed on.
Are you sure?
Speaking in the U.S., the country's special envoy for Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, said a deal to end the war in Ukraine was very close. He added that two key remaining talking points still under negotiation were that on the topic of territory, especially the Donbas region, and the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Zelenskyy is expected to speak with European allies next and is meeting with leaders from France, Germany, and the UK in London on Monday. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth defended the strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean and emphasized that President Donald Trump can take military action as he sees fit to defend the nation.
Here again, we've been focused, and here we've been clear. If you're working for a designated terrorist organization and you bring drugs to this country in a boat, we will find you and we will sink you. Let there be no doubt about it. President Trump can and will take decisive military action as he sees fit.
Hegseth has faced growing scrutiny over an attack in September in which U.S. forces launched a follow-up strike that killed survivors of an initial hit on a suspected drug vessel. The incident raised concerns over the legality and oversight of the operation. Hegseth says he had not been present when the second strike was ordered, but defended the decision, saying he would have made the same call himself.
The Interior Minister of the West African nation of Benin has said that a military coup, initially announced on Sunday morning by a group of soldiers on state TV as successful, was foiled on the same day.
Au petit matin de ce dimanche 7 décembre 2025, un groupuscule de soldats a engagé une mutinerie dans le but de déstabiliser l'État et ses institutions. Face à cette situation, les forces armées béninoises et leur hiérarchie, fidèles à leur serment, sont restées républicaines.
The group, which called itself the Military Committee for Refoundation, appointed Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigre as president of the Military Committee. Benin's president, Patrice Talon, has been in power since 2016 and is due to step down next April after the presidential election. The attempt is the latest in a series of military takeovers to rock West Africa over the last few weeks. At least 25 people have died in a deadly fire that broke out in a popular nightclub in the Indian state of Goa. The club is located in the northern village of Arpora, around 25 kilometers away from the state's capital, Panaji. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant expressed his condolences to the victims and says a probe has been launched to identify the exact cause of the blaze. He noted that most of those killed were kitchen staff who worked at the venue, adding that 3 to 4 tourists are also believed to have lost their lives. Local police suspect the fire was caused after a gas cylinder exploded, but others speculate that fireworks or pyrotechnics may have caused it. The club is also believed to have been operating without a license. Sawant says anyone found responsible for this incident will be dealt with firmly if negligence is confirmed to be the cause.
Each year, millions of people are estimated to suffer from seasonal depression, also known as seasonal affective disorder. Countries in Northern Europe and above the Arctic Circle are no stranger to long dark days. Experts in Norway, Sweden and Finland say the limited sunlight has a major impact on mood and can lead to low energy, increased appetite and feelings of sadness.
Because light has an immediate effect on your well-being to increase serotonin in your brain, which is a very important chemical to promote also, that you feel good, that you have you're in a good mood. So all these things you can do. So it's not like it's a fate and an annual or a seasonal fate, and you cannot do anything about it.
A light therapy device or dawn simulator are common tools used to mimic light and boost serotonin in the brain. Experts also warn for social isolation and urge people not to withdraw socially during winter time. They also recommend regular exercise to fight the winter blues.
The 26th edition of France's Festival of Lights opened Friday in Lyon. During the 4-day event, the facades of the city's buildings, churches, fountains, cathedrals, and main squares serve as giant canvases for various artists. A new addition this year, a drone show above the city's biggest park. The tradition dates all the way back to 1852, when residents placed candles in colored glasses on their windowsills to celebrate the installation of a statue of the Virgin Mary on the Fourvière Hill. Entire districts of the city were lit up, transforming the facades of buildings in a show of lights. The tradition has become an annual event, with an organized festival hosted for the 26th time this year. The Festival of Lights takes place over 4 evenings until the 8th of December.
World-renowned Canadian-American architect and designer Frank Gehry has died at the age of 96 after a short respiratory illness. He passed away on Friday at his home in California, said his firm. Gehry designed some of the most imaginative buildings ever constructed and achieved a level of acclaim seldom obtained in the architectural world. His fascination with modern pop art led to many masterpieces, such as the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain, the Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles, and the Deutsche Bank building in Berlin. Gehry's career got off to a slow start, struggling for years to make ends meet. But by the end of his life, he was awarded every major prize architecture has to offer, including the field's top honor, the Pritzker Prize.
acontecendo aqui?
Senhora Tereza, dona da casa?
Aham.
É uma homenagem do governo.
Homenagem?
É, por conta da sua idade.
Mas desde quando uma pessoa é homenageada só porque ficou velha?
Abordagem de documentos.
Ainda falta 3 anos.
A senhora precisa comparecer na prefeitura com urgência.
Eu vou ter que andar no catavério.
Mas você não já sabia que tu ia pra colônia?
Eu não sabia que era agora. Tem coisa que eu ainda quero fazer.
Cadê aquela senhorinha que veio no Beirute lavar?
E a senhora? Tá indo fazer o que lá em Taquatioca?
Garantir meu lugar no céu.
Para que é dinheiro?
Eu vou comprar a liberdade antes de ser preso. Será que dá medo de voar lá em cima?
Quanto mais medo, melhor.
Você não tem medo da polícia, não?
Ninguém pode fazer nada comigo.
Deixe ninguém travar seu caminho, não.
Dizem que ele tem poder de encanto. Tu vai ver o que tu nunca viu.